Are you serious? Are you serious? Iran threatens the United States with retaliation of war if the U.S. breaches the Iranian nuke deal. Well, let me tell you what's happening up on Capitol Hill. The Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has made a very powerful statement, and now that he's in the hip pocket of Russia, he may have more teeth than what he had before. He sets that Iranians are sitting on the doorstep of the nation of Israel, and they have never retracted the fact that they want to annihilate the nation of Israel. Today, in Beirut, Lebanon, Reuters is reporting that extending U.S. sanctions on the Iranian government for 10 years would breach the Iranian nuclear agreement. And Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, said today, warning that Iran would retaliate if the sanctions are approved. And what's he referring to? Well, the United States House of Representatives reauthorized last week the Iranian Sanctions Act, or ISA, for 10 years. So the House of Representatives said, look, let's put the sanctions back on Iran because they're not following the agreement that was signed. The law, it was the first adopted in 1996 to punish the investments in Iran's energy industry and deter the Iranians' pursuit of nuclear weapons. Well, how'd that work out for us, guys? How did that work out for us? They already had 2 nuclear facilities. Matter of fact, they had 3. And the Russians built it for them during the sanctions. Just saying. Now get this. The Iranian measure will expire at the end of 2016 if it is not renewed. So the House bill must be passed by the Senate and then signed by President Barack Obama before December 31st, 2016, or this bill is dead on arrival and all sanctions will be lifted completely off of Iran. Remember, Donald Trump wants to undo this Iranian nuke deal, but he's not president until January 20th, and this agreement ends on New Year's Eve. The House has passed it to renew it and put it back in there, but it's still the Senate would have to pass it, and then Obama would have to sign it, and that's not going to happen, guys. It's just flat out not going to happen. Obama will never sign it. He gave him $1.7 billion in cold, hard cash in the middle of the night. Oh, no. He set up the deal in the first place, which was horrible. And, oh, by the way, I can't put it all on Obama because Angela Merkel signed it for Germany. Vladimir Putin signed it for Russia. President Xi Jinping signed it for China. David Cameron signed it. President David Cameron signed it for the British Prime Minister David Cameron. And President Barack Obama signed it for the United States. So I can't put it all on Obama. The 6 superpowers of the world empowered Iran. Trump will have to stand up against all of these characters. Iran and world powers concluded the nuclear agreement, also known as the JCPOA, imposed curbs on Iran's nuclear program in return for easing the sanctions that have badly hurt its economy. The current U.S. government has breached the nuclear deal in many occasions, says the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, addressing a gathering of members of the Revolutionary Guard, according to his website. And the latest is extension of sanctions for 10 years. That if it happens, he says, this would surely be against the JCPOA or OA, and the Islamic Republic would definitely react to it and retaliate. The U.S. lawmakers passed the bill 1 week after the Republican Donald Trump was elected to U.S. president. Republicans in Congress unanimously opposed the agreement, along with about 24 other Democrats. They never wanted the Iranian deal signed in the first place. Trump has also criticized it. Lawmakers from both parties said they hope bipartisan support for a tough line against Iran would continue under the new president, Donald Trump. And President-elect Trump once said during his campaign that he would rip up this agreement, drawing a harsh reaction from the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who said if that happens, Iran will set fire to the deal. And I think he means Israel. And Israel never wanted this deal in the first place. I mean, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu came to the United States. Obama wouldn't even give him the time of day. He would not even meet with him about it. And he wouldn't even let the Vice President Joe Bite Me Biden to go to the congressional, to a joint session of Congress to hear the speech given by Netanyahu. Matter of fact, Netanyahu stood on the podium at the United Nations and begged the world not to allow the Iranians to have this deal. So really, you got Netanyahu and Trump are the only real leaders in the world who's ready to stand toe-to-toe with the rest of the world as it relates to this Iranian capability of nuclear arms. The House of Representatives also passed this bill last week that would block the sale of commercial aircraft by Boeing and Airbus to Iran. Well, you think? Well, that really brings to my mind the vision I had. It was actually a dream. In May the 19th, actually, 2013, I was in Jerusalem, and I, in the middle of the night, had a dream, and I seen Russian and Iranian planes dropping bombs in Israel. I woke up, I was sweating, literally woke up in a cold sweat. 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't go back to sleep, and I rose early and went to the Western Wall and prayed for the peace of Jerusalem. I even wrote a book, Jerusalem Jihad, based on the dream. It's an end-time apocalyptic scenario, only at my website if you want to get a copy. Since I wrote these books, we've seen 16 major events come to pass that are true. I even wrote in the book that the Pope was going to resign. Benedict would resign, there to be a new Pope. That hadn't happened in 600 years. I didn't even want to write that, but the Holy Spirit said, write it, and it come to pass. I'm telling you don't sell Iran Boeings to come dropping bombs on Israel because I seen it in a dream. It will happen if they sell these planes to them. The White House believes that the legislation would be a violation of nuclear pact and has said Obama would veto the measure even if it did pass the Senate. So folks, Iran threatens the United States with war. Are you saved? It's getting ugly. Iran is one of the Fab Five nations that attacks Israel in Ezekiel 38 and 39. So we're getting close. We're getting very close. The end times are here, and they're now. Are you saved?